Hello everybody, I'm Sergeant Jason Newton with the Colorado Springs Police Department. I'm part of the Community Relations Unit. We know these are difficult times, but we just wanted to provide you a few moments to sit back and relax and just have a few minutes of peace. And so today we've partnered with the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo, and we are here to give you an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at the animals. The zoo is temporarily closed, but the zookeepers and the staff here are still working to keep these animals safe and working on their preservation and conservation efforts. So we wanted to bring you to the zoo to show you what they're doing and just to introduce you to a few unique animals that call Colorado Springs home. As you can see, guys, we're about ready to go into the zoo. But before we go in, I want to introduce you to my two partners I brought today. I brought Officer Nicholas Ryland and Officer Fabiola Jaquez. She was here somewhere.
I'm here looking for bears.
As you can see, she looks very excited, and so we all are. But before we guys go into the zoo, we have to have proper protection on. So that's, do we have that, guys? Actually, hold on a second. That's better. Okay, see, as you can see, we do have our gear on. We're wearing masks because we want to protect ourselves, the animals, and the zookeepers, and it's extremely important. So you'll see us, we'll be practicing safe social distancing, wearing our masks and our hats to protect us from the sun. You guys ready to go into the zoo?
Crikey! Bears!
Let's do this.
Hey guys, welcome to the zoo. Oh my goodness! It's alright, they'll still like it. You wanna go feed some giraffes?
Yes, we want to see giraffes. As you can see, we're here with our first animal. We're here with the giraffes, and this is Rachel, the keeper. So I'm gonna let her take over and tell you a little bit more about the giraffes and the herd here.
Like I said, I'm Rachel. I'm one of the keepers who works here in the African Rift Valley with our large herd of giraffe. You can see them out behind me right now. They just came outside for the morning, and so they're busy snacking. Some of them have figured out that we're over here with food, so that's fun. But you can see a lot also behind me eating what we call browse, which are just tree branches. That is actually a large part of their diet, one of their absolute favorite things. So you can see they're really excited about that. It's a really nice day, which is nice change from all of the snow and stuff that we've had lately. So they're super excited to be outside right now. Since we've had to change how we operate a little bit recently, our zoo is obviously not open. And so we are trying to keep life for the giraffes here as similar to normal as we can. So our schedule for them is relatively the same as it always is. We want them to have just as much time outside right now as they normally would, because that's really good for them. It's an important part of their life. A big change we've noticed, obviously, with the giraffe compared to a lot of the other animals is that they don't have people feeding them lettuce all day long anymore. And so we see them often looking for their friends who feed them all day. And so we've been trying to change how we enrich them a little bit. And enrichment is just a term for anything we can provide for the animals in our care that helps inspire species appropriate behavior, gives them opportunities to use their behavior in their environment. For giraffe, enrichment is food a lot of the time. That's one of the big ones. And so since we don't have people who are enriching for them, often feeding them, then we've been adding more enrichment to their day, more food to their day, so that they're not sad that all of you guys who love to feed them out there aren't here right now for them. We're obviously a zoo that has lots of giraffes historically. We have one of the largest herds in the United States, which is really cool, and that really hasn't changed much. We still have quite a few. We have a few new younger ones that will be outside here in just a little bit. You can also still see the giraffe every day on our 2 giraffe cams that you can find on YouTube, or there's a link on our zoo website as well. But our giraffes are a big, important part of our zoo. You see them when you first walk in here. We do a lot for our giraffes here in our care, and we also care a lot about doing conservation work for our giraffe. So if you see when you walk into the zoo, we have a Quarters for Conservation program, and it's a way that we can promote and participate in conservation for several species. And you guys also out there, when you come to the zoo and visit, are also helping contribute to their conservation as well. Giraffe Conservation Foundation is one of the biggest programs that we care about here, and we have actively participated in that by sending staff out to Africa to work with the giraffe in Operation Twiga 1 through 4, where we've actually been moving Nubian giraffe from one area to another to grow a new population of giraffe in an area they haven't been for a really long time. So conservation is something we really care about, and we are actively working towards saving them constantly. We also do captive breeding programs here. So we often will have pregnant giraffe, which everybody gets really excited about, and we'll have babies. So we have 8-month-old Viv, who was born last summer, who everybody who comes to the zoo seems to know pretty well. She's really fun to watch. And she'll, like I said, be outside in just a little bit. And so when we breed here in human care at AZA facilities like our zoo is, we are trying to create a pool of giraffe essentially that are healthy and genetically valuable in human care, so that if we ever have to contribute to wild populations, then we have a healthy captive population to pull from. So it's one of the other ways that we can help contribute to conservation as well.
I have a question. This is a super important question.
Yes.
A lot of people are thinking about this question, I know. So I'm going to ask it. Are giraffes and bears friends?
You know, I think you guys are gonna see bears later on, and so if you want to ask the bear keeper that, I think that'd be a great question for them.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Are giraffes from Australia?
They are not from Australia, but they are from another continent that starts with an A. These guys live in Africa naturally, so that is where you guys would see them.
Any other fun facts?
Well, one fun thing that I always like to share with people is about their tongues. So if you've noticed, as they've been eating, giraffes use their tongues a lot to grab food from us and lick other things. And they actually have a super long tongue. Does anybody want to guess how long it is?
2 feet.
It's almost 2 feet. Their tongues are on average about 18 inches long. And if you also look at them, they're really dark in color. And we think that's because they're out so much in the sun that it works as a natural sunscreen. So it's really interesting. Giraffes are very, very unique animals. I'm really glad you guys got to stop by and we could share our giraffes with you today. They're super cool, probably the best animal out there. My name's Rachel again, and it was really nice meeting you guys, and we'll see you later.
How's it going? My name is Phil, and I'm here with our meerkat mob. We have 8 meerkats in here total. We have Mom and Dad. Mom is Dusty, who's the one sitting up right there. She looks a little bit like a bowling pin. And then Dad is laying right there on his belly. His name is Kamikaze. Everyone else in this exhibit are their children, and they are all named after synonyms for the word chaos, and that is because they all like to have a little bit of fun all day long. So what we'll see a lot of times is one meerkat standing sentry, like this little guy right over here, who's keeping a lookout, especially on your camera, and especially looking out on the sky as well for any birds of prey that might be going on, while everyone else is spending most of the day laying in the sun and taking in that nice, lovely Colorado warmth, and also having a little bit of playtime as well. You can see back there, there's a mop head, which is their enrichment for today. I tossed a bunch of crickets on top of that mop head, and they kind of had to dig through all the little pieces of string in order to get to the bottom and find the delicious treats.
Oh my goodness, I see bears. There's a little guy over here, and he's got a goodie over here with little ears sticking up. Oh my goodness, I'm here with my friend Michelle. She's a keeper here at the zoo. It's not a bear.
That's right, it's a mountain tapir. So this is Carlotta, our female mountain tapir. And then you might see Kofan hanging out way in the back, taking a nap.
Those are the little ears I saw.
Uh-huh. So a lot of people mistake our tapers for bears. So it's totally understandable. They're kind of the same color as bears, and they're also very furry, as you can see.
What are some fun facts?
Yeah, so our tapir are really special. These guys come from South America, and mountain tapir are actually found at really high elevations. So they have a perfect home here in the Rocky Mountains because they would be living way up high in the Andes Mountains in Ecuador, Colombia, and Peru. So these guys are really special to us because they are 2 of only 7 mountain tapir in the entire North American continent. And so we are so lucky to have them here at Cheyenne Mountain Zoo. And Carlotta here is 27 years old, so she's a little bit of an older lady. And yep, these guys are really cool. They're unfortunately the most endangered of all tapir species. So out in the wild, there's projected to be less than 2,500 of them left in the whole world. So we're super lucky to be able to work with them here and have them be ambassadors for their species. And you'll notice that Carlotta's really enjoying these little scratches I'm giving her. You're welcome to give her a scratch too if you like. She likes it right there under the chin. Perfect.
Oh my god, this is the coolest day ever.
So we use these scratches to work really closely with them. She'll actually let me give her her annual shots, do any sort of maybe a blood work that we have to do, or even work on her feet just by scratching her.
She is the cutest little thing. I wish you could be as close as I am to her. I do have a question for you, Michelle.
Yes.
Carlotta has friends that are ducks.
She sure does.
Does she have friends that are bears?
You know, I think that would be a pretty good question for the bear keepers, but it wouldn't surprise me. She's pretty friendly.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much.
Carlotta, we love you. She is so awesome, and I just wish I could share this experience more close up with you, my friends.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. So what are these?
These are our Redneck Wallabies. This one right here is Kia. She is about 7 years old. And she is definitely, oh, looks like we're gonna have someone else join us here in a second. But she is a full-grown adult Redneck Wallaby. A lot of people think they're kangaroos. They ask, are these baby kangaroos? But no, believe it or not, this is as big as they get. They're really close relative to our kangaroos that live in Australia, but they're basically just a lot smaller. Makes them a little bit more nimble, a little bit more agile. Oh, and I've got our littlest one coming up to meet me here. So this is Gigi right here. She's just turned a year old last month. So she's kind of done with mom. She's still nursing a little bit, but she's definitely getting out on her own. She's by far the boldest. She kind of got spoiled when she was little, so she's not afraid to come down and interact, and she loves being around people. So she's been a little lonely since everybody's been gone. But you can see they're all pretty excited to come and hang out right now.
So are these from Australia?
They are, yep. They live in the southeastern part of Australia. They're going to kind of live in the shrubby areas and rocky areas as well. They eat mostly leaves, bark, some roots as well. But they're foraging, just kind of always snacking. So that's why we love to have them out here in our yard where they can be out and graze all day and then just take nice little sun baths as well. So this is Matilda. You can see they're all very excited to have some visitors today. Here, do you want to feed her a few? Sure. Their treats, we love to give them almonds. That's by far one of their favorites. You can see they're pretty excited about it.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, so we recently did some made a donation to conservation for these guys. Our membership fund voted to send $20,000 to Australia to help with bushfire relief. These guys definitely had parts of their habitat impacted, so that money will just help to go towards rehabbing animals that are over in that were caught up in the fires, and then also helping with just making sure that that area is properly taken care of and brought back to its natural state as quickly as possible.
he's sleeping.
Everybody, we are back in the Rocky Mountain Wild. We just visited Australia, so now we're back in the Rocky Mountains, and we found a bear. It's very exciting, but I'm going to introduce you to the keeper, and we'll talk a little bit more and see more bears. So over here is Kelsey. Kelsey's one of the keepers here.
Hi, welcome to Cheyenne Mountain Zoo. Welcome to Rocky Mountain Wild. So we heard you guys were looking for bears, so we thought we'd give you a bear. Wow. This is Digger. We also have our other bear, Emmett. He's on the other side of the pool there. Digger will be hanging out with us for a little bit here. Our bears here at the zoo are super duper smart. They love to hang out with us. They love to do lots of husbandry behaviors. We're all working on our health right now. So our bears are also active participants in their health as well. Hey Digger, can we see your paws? Yeah, so we can get a good look at their paws here. So we don't have grizzly bears here in Colorado, but we do have black bears. A good way to tell those guys apart, black bears are gonna have really short claws that help them climb, and Digger here, he likes to dig, so he's gonna have some blunted claws, just like other grizzly bears. So we can also look in his mouth. Yeah, you can see those lovely yellow teeth there. So that's what happens when you don't brush your teeth. We're all at home, so we can make sure to brush our teeth real well now. We can look at his tongue. It's supposed to be purple. That's how they're supposed to look. He's nice and hydrated today. These guys have just been having a great time relaxing here at the zoo. We can also do blood draw with these guys. So we look at their paws again. Can I see both your feet? Can you scoot your butt closer? No, not right now. Can I see your butt? Okay, well if he brought his butt over here, we can open that panel there and he'll let us get some blood from his leg, which is super awesome. There's no way we couldn't do that voluntarily. If he wanted to take his leg away, he could take his leg away anytime he wanted to. So these guys, if you're out hiking, which I know a lot of people are right now, make sure that you're not a super quiet hiker. So just clap or talk slowly while you're walking around just to make sure bears know where you're at. Scary bear is gonna come running at you on all fours, not be up on two legs like Digger's gonna show you right now. Digger, can you stand up? Yeah. So this is a Hollywood scary bear, not an actual scary bear. So if a bear's up on their back feet for you, they're just checking things out, kind of looking around, seeing what's out there, and they just want to make sure that you're not going to get any closer to them and make them feel uncomfortable. So did you guys have any questions about our bears?
So what can we do as homeowners that live in the city and that interact with bears? What can we do to keep bears safe and protect them in their natural habitats? What can we do?
Awesome question. So Digger and Emmett were both nuisance bears. So we have that label here in Colorado. Digger here, he accidentally got a hold of someone's pet goat, but Emmett here is a more common case. He was a suburban bear. He got into people's garages, ate their dog food, got into their trash bins and their bird feeders. So if you guys bring your bird feeders in at night and only put your trash out in the morning of the trash pickup, that's the best way to help the bear.
Awesome, yes. We want to be good neighbors of the bears here in the Rocky Mountain Wild, and so I think it's important. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you for being here.
Wait!
Oh.
We've been here all day. We've been asking questions. One very, very important question. Do bears have friends?
Bears do have friends.
Yay!
So right now her friends are the CSPD people. We've got friends of zookeepers, and then Emmett and Digger are best bear friends.
Best day ever.
So Kelsey, I see you're feeding Digger. What's Digger's favorite food?
So Digger's favorite food, we don't actually have it in this bucket, is fish actually. But for right now, they're getting lots of different produce, and then this right here is especially made bear food that we carry here at the zoo. It's just basically like dog food, but especially made for bears. But these guys are super not picky. They actually really like all kinds of food.
Do they eat fruits and vegetables?
Yeah, their majority of their diet, as well as wild bears, is going to be fruits and vegetables, and then only a small portion is going to be meat.
See, kids, eat fruits and vegetables. The bears like it, you should like it too. You want to stand up?
Yeah, go for the badge. Good job. Stand up for the badge. He's like, I would totally take that from you.
I'm 6'5", and as you can see, Digger is huge. Thank you for standing up. I appreciate it.
How can you not fall in love with an animal?
I can't give you my bag. I gotta keep it.
Yeah, our otters.
We did it.